welcome to the positive mental health program, The Chrissy B Show. Now here on our program, we like to explore and learn more about topics and issues that don't get much coverage in mainstream media, like today's subject, which is all about shyness. Is being shy really a big deal? Can it affect life as you grow up? And can you even grow out of it? Well, we're going to find answers to those questions today. We have a jam-packed lineup starting with HR Associate Mariah Asema, who'll be discussing shyness in a work environment. And earlier this week, I met with Claire Schrader from Making Moves about her story before starting her own confidence courses, and have two special guests with two very different stories, but both share the same shyness problem, Marianne Dubé and Robert Mills. Later on in the show, I'll be sharing my top tips on how to deal with shyness in a more general sense. And in a moment, our fabulous news presenter, Excel Ashimomo, will bring us all the latest news. So if you have something to share about an experience about shyness, or could offer your own tips, you can visit our Facebook page, The Chrissy B Show, or tweet us at Chrissy B Show, or visit our website. So we do have a comment from one of our viewers, Leanne Nolan, on Facebook, who says, "There was a time I remember that I was so shy I couldn't even look a person in the eye. Or if I had to go to a place that had a few people in a room, I would be that shy I would feel like vomiting, or I would blush just walking into the place. I remember a day I had to give a speech at school and I fainted beforehand. I would dread thinking about my future career because I couldn't think of anything I wanted to do because I knew I would have to interact with people and I just couldn't bear that thought. A few years later, I joined the women's group where there were also women going through the same situation as I was. I got counselling and later I discovered that my shyness was a result of deep complexes and insecurities I had from childhood. I started to open up to myself and realised that what had happened to me in the past was not my fault, and if I had kept those feelings inside of me, my future would be greatly affected. When I discovered that, I started to do daily things that would make me overcome shyness. I started doing things I didn't normally do, like talking to people more, making conversations, looking at them in the eyes. These small steps I took led me to do the bigger things that I had great fear of, but I faced it and I overcame. I think that when we take daily steps to change, we lead ourselves to great change." So well done, Leanne, for that. And I see you've made great progress. So after the break, we're going to be meeting our guests who've all gone through this dark period in their lives, but are now working through to a brighter future. But first of all, let's speak to Excel with the news. Hello, Excel.
Hello, Chrissy.
Welcome to the show.
Well, thank you. It's good to be back. I have missed you.
I know, missed you too.
Aww.
So tell me, what's in the news? Shy celebrities, do they exist?
Yes, they actually do exist, funnily enough. And I did find a few that some of them were surprising and some of them not so surprising. I think we all know Jessica Alba, who starred in one of the I think she was in one of the superhero movies or something. She was clad in leather, let's just put it that way. But apparently, in real life, she's extremely shy. And she says, "I don't like to be the center of attention, and acting has been the way she's gotten over her instinct to hide in the corner."
Really?
Yeah. She says,
I suppose if you're pretending to be another person, it's easier, isn't it?
Exactly. You kind of step into another person's shoes and and kind of pretend that you're this superhero or something. Absolutely. This next one, slightly odd. Lady Gaga?
No.
Would you have said she was shy?
No way.
Well, apparently she says she's very shy at heart, despite the most insane outfits she comes out with. She says, "I don't really meet that many other artists because I'm actually kind of shy." She says, "I might not be shy with people that I know, but with people that I don't know, I'm very shy. I always feel shy in the Hollywood scene, and I feel a bit like I did in high school, like I don't really fit in." That's why you have the outrageous outfits, Gaga.
That's what I was thinking.
Indeed.
You don't, okay, I'll reserve my comments.
Because I kind of picture being shy means you kind of wanted to hide in the corner, but your outfits are kind of like out there. Like,
look at me.
Look at me.
Exactly.
Well, indeed. Another surprising one as well. I think actually I knew about this some time ago. Jim Carrey, the comedian and actor, he says he describes that he was painfully shy, and that he became the class clown in order to deal with his shyness and make friends. And you know, he turned it into obviously a career. It's paid him so much. Fabulous.
That's an example of shyness working For good.
In your favor,
Yeah.
exactly. Kate Moss, apparently as well, is terribly shy, according to a famous photographer. She says whenever she goes to like public events, she's always very shaky and very nervous. And he often says, I think he follows her around more often. His name is Mario Testino. And apparently she gets all nervy and shakes and everything. So look, I'm actually very nervous. And she does actually, you know, it's almost as if...
Who are we talking about again?
Kate Moss.
Okay, sorry, I completely forgot who you said.
Oh, steady. Yeah, Kate Moss.
Okay.
Yeah, she gets really nervous and very shy. So I have to say, it's quite surprising. Another one, David Letterman, the American comedian and late show host. He is... Yeah.
He wasn't really.
Because it's a bit of an outrageous thing. Like the things he comes up and he gets his guests to do, you would think, yeah, you're not really out, you're very out there. But apparently he likes to carefully plan and orchestrate the show as a way of coping with his own shyness. He has a small circle of friends and is not known to attend social functions.
Okay.
I have to say, I've never really seen him in any sort of like celebrity, but then again, I don't follow them all, but I've never really seen him outside his show. So that sort of made quite interesting, it's quite an interesting point there. Ladies who love the Twilight series, Robert Pattinson, right? Apparently,
I could believe that one.
Apparently he's very...
He looks it.
Yeah. Well, apparently his heartthrob status hasn't made him a bit like, you know, come out of his shell. He says he's quite shy with the lady folk. And he said, I was shy and withdrawn and didn't have any self-esteem when the year he was 17 was the worst of his life because he was still searching for his place in the world. And he was obsessed with a girl for years and never talked to her because he was extremely shy. Seriously?
I wonder who that was.
Well, he didn't say. And years later, I told her about it and she was totally shocked because she hadn't noticed anything. But she is the reason I ultimately got into acting.
Ooh.
Oh, well, there you go. Unrequited love got you into acting. Nice. Okay.
We didn't give her a chance, did it? Because you didn't even tell her.
Well, exactly. This is the thing. Well, he was just
unrequited.
Just pined away in the corner and just started oogling at her and not really saying anything. Come on, that doesn't help.
That's what he did with Bella in Twilight.
Oh, is it? Oh, see, I haven't watched this Twilight thing. Have you watched it then? I suppose I need to catch up with the other half of the world. But anyway, Victoria Beckham is another one. I mean, I wasn't surprised when I read this because I think she tends to get bad press with her whole pouty look and you know, miserable look kind of thing. But apparently, according to Paris Hilton, who's probably her BFF, apparently, sort of said that her bad rep comes from her being actually shy. And I think because maybe she's trying to concentrate so much and get away from the cameras, which you can't really help because everybody, you know, the whole world knows you. But apparently certain things that have been said in the media, you know, makes people assume that they're actually horrible people. But she says, no, in Victoria's case, it's only when you get to know someone that you see that it's all made up. Victoria doesn't smile and she does pout, but maybe she's just shy. It's very invasive when there's so many cameras on you. So, you know,
I can imagine.
I mean, how would you be able to cope with that if you had cameras in your face constantly?
I don't even do very well when people come up to me and say, "Oh, can I take a picture with you?" I find it really embarrassing.
No, but you're in the public eye. This is the whole
But
point.
it's just me. It's not like
Yeah,
you know
but
what I mean?
it's just you. For the people who just know you before, but for those who've seen you on TV, it's like, oh my gosh, it's Chrissy B. I want a photo. There you go.
Yeah.
You
I won't say I'm shy. I just think, you know,
it's little old me.
yeah, kind of thing.
Yeah, but it's not little old you anymore. We all know you all over the world. Okay, another one who I wasn't quite surprised with this one. He's shy, and in his words, I'll see if you can guess.
Okay.
He says, I'm shy or paranoid or whatever word you want to use. I hate fame. I've done everything I can to avoid it. But he's featured in quite some very, you know, key movies.
Oh, Robert De Niro?
Oh no, he probably is as well, but I didn't see his name on that list.
I don't know.
Picture somebody who did a series
Oh,
on...
hang on. Pirates of the Caribbean, what's his face?
Ooh.
Johnny Depp.
Well done.
Yeah.
It's him.
Well, he kind of acts a bit strange
I
sometimes,
know.
doesn't he? Not just in his films, but in general, like.
But yeah,
Yeah.
apparently he's very shy. He does everything he can to avoid to
So I
avoid
think we've
fame.
got time for one more.
Oh, one more. Oh, I'll be quick then. Barbara Streisand is also apparently another shy person. She's talked publicly about her problems with stage fright and performance anxiety and how she has used therapy as part of her recovery.
Okay.
Oh, I got one more.
Go
Do I
on.
have one more? Described as a man of few words and a man and somebody who likes to play outgoing characters to break away from his natural shyness. The one and only Brad Pitt.
I don't believe that one.
Who
Come
knew?
on. Were you ever shy, Excel?
Oh, gosh.
Because I know you're not shy now.
No,
please.
well, yeah, you probably won't
She calls the
believe
shots
it.
in the studio when she's here, people.
It's not true, guys. It's not. I promise you. I'm just the second diva in the studio.
Okay, all right.
But anyway, I suppose I was a little bit. I think, for example, I identified with Jim Carrey, wanting to sort of overcome the shyness. You become a bit of a class clown. And I think that kind of resonates to what yeah.
Well, you're not leaving it, are you, Excel?
No,
Because
I'm
later on
liking
in the
it.
program, I will be covering some tips on how to overcome shyness if you are extremely shy. So you're going to be helping with that later on. But after the break, we'll meet our guests who've all gone through this dark period in their lives and are now working through to a brighter future. So don't go away.
Don't forget to subscribe to the Chrissy B Show, always aiming to show you the happier side of life. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook and Twitter.
We're back here at the Chrissy B Show where we are covering the topic of shyness, an issue close to the heart of our first guest, Robert Mills. Let's take a look. So now I'm here with Rob, who's been getting some help and advice from Making Moves. So hi Rob, thanks for joining us.
Right. Thank you.
Can you tell us a bit about yourself, what you were like as a child growing up and where you realised that you were really shy?
Right. Earliest memories really of being shy and very, very shy as a child. I had 3 older brothers, sort of 16, 12 and 10 years older than me, so I sort of grew up in a sort of household of adults, really.
Okay, it's quite a big gap then, that
It was,
wasn't it? Yeah.
And I think when I first started going to nursery school and infant school, I had difficulties sort of mixing with the other children of my own age.
Okay. So would you stay by yourself mainly?
I was pretty isolated.
Yeah, I was as well as a child.
Mm.
Yeah. So how did that affect you growing up though? Did that continue?
It did really into my teens and even into sort of early 20s.
Okay.
Still felt fairly shy. Yeah.
What did you feel like maybe you missed out on because of the shyness?
Having sort of friends and good social life. I didn't have a girlfriend until I was about 30.
Okay.
So yeah.
All right.
missed out
So
quite a bit.
did you have no friends at all, or just maybe a few close ones?
Not many at all, I'd say. Yeah.
And how did that make you feel inside?
Yeah, pretty useless really and horrible. Yeah.
Okay. But then obviously I have to say it's very brave of you now to actually be on TV. So obviously you've come a long way because you're being interviewed for TV, which is wonderful. So well done for that. But when did you actually come across Making Moves?
Only about last year, about 6 or 7 months ago.
Okay.
Really, yeah.
So were you actively looking for something to get help with the shyness issue, or did you just sort of come across it?
Yes, I did look out for something. Yeah.
Okay.
And sort of the first thing I did was I booked some sessions with a cognitive behaviour therapist, which were good, but it was just sort of talking, and I wanted something a bit more doing sort of activity.
So you were ready to sort of take it to the next level then?
I was, yeah.
Okay. What were your first impressions of Making Moves when you first started?
It was pretty tough. Yeah, it was quite challenging. And,
Out of your comfort zone?
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
It was, yeah.
So how has it helped you now?
Yeah, I feel much better, much more confident. I had sort of no confidence or self-esteem in myself when I first started going to the courses, but I'm feeling much better now. Yeah.
Is there anything that you say you've seen particular progress in? Is there a particular area of your life, or would you say it's just helped you in general?
I'm certainly sort of more socially active these days and more confident in talking to people and meeting people. And
Do you have more friends now?
I'm starting to build up a network of friends.
Brilliant,
Yeah.
that's excellent. Are you feeling better within yourself and everything?
Definitely, yeah. I used to have this sort of inner voice telling me that I was no good, and that's gone now.
Now you've silenced that voice,
yeah,
haven't you?
it's gone. I don't know where it
Brilliant.
went, but
Oh, that's
riddance,
really
I say.
good. It's really good news. Well done.
Right, okay.
All right, Rob, thank you so much for talking to us. Well done.
No problem.
So Rob really has come a long way from his shy days. And Rob, if you're watching, we wish you all the very best for your future. Now, next up is someone with a very troubled past. Let's meet Marianne Dubé from France. So now I'm joined by the lovely Marianne. Hello.
Hello.
How are you, my love?
Nervous.
But you're
I'm
being very,
breathing.
very brave. And I love the colours that you're wearing today
you.
as well. So tell us about yourself growing up. Were you always a shy child?
Yeah, I was. I remember even as a toddler, I will hide in cupboards.
Cupboards, really?
Yeah. So even as a toddler, it wasn't safe for me.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't feel safe to be with people and
Okay.
to mix with people. And
Were you an only child, or did you have siblings?
well, I was an only child, but when I was 10 days old, I was put into care.
Okay.
To a nanny who was paid to look after me
Mhm.
24/7, and she had 7, 8 other children at the time.
Oh, okay.
And then later on, I lived with my parents, where I experienced severe child abuse and neglect, which obviously reinforced
Oh gosh, yeah, I can imagine.
all these fears, and obviously it doesn't stop. Once you go through child neglect and abuse, obviously the outdoor world is neither safe. You go to school and you are bullies for not being dressed like everyone else, and all sorts of things.
So it's just like a snowball
Exactly.
effect, isn't it? Yeah.
So well, like me, I arrived, and as an adult, I was highly dysfunctional, but looking great in the face of the world because I was working at the time.
So you kind of put on a mask, did you, just to
Exactly.
pretend you were
Yes,
okay, but inside
exactly.
you were
dead.
dead, going through a really hard time.
Dead.
Okay. What other, did it affect all areas of your life, or was there anything that you say was going well for you?
I guess work.
Just
I was
work,
addicted
yeah.
to work. That was one of my many addictions.
Okay. So you threw yourself into that job. Would it make you feel better and just forget for a while, would you say?
Yeah, I guess I was working non-stop.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't have to realize how dysfunctional I was in terms of I wouldn't socialize. I didn't know how to. I grew up without being spoken to. So I didn't know how to communicate. I didn't have, obviously, when you grow up that way, you don't know what your interests are because you haven't had the opportunity to discover anything.
That's true.
So basically you become an adult, and all I knew is work because that I knew how.
Now you came across Making Moves. So how has that helped you?
Well, that helped me tremendously and is still helping. I'm still participating in Claire's work currently. And for me, who I don't find communication easy, verbal communication, I don't find that
I think
easy.
you're doing amazingly well. You communicate really well.
And I need to experience things. I'm very much an experiential learner. So with Claire's work, I use my body to express things. And when I feel stuck for words, at least I can experience it for my body.
Another way.
Another way, which works better for me. And yes, helped me tremendously.
So Marianne, for someone that's maybe going through something that you were going through, what advice would you give to them?
Well, I'm a strong believer that we don't have to be a victim of our past, and I do not believe in that. And I refuse to be a victim of my past, and I have played the victim for many, many years. But that sends you into more and more a deep hole, and we can rewrite our life
because it is possible, isn't it?
Definitely
Anyone
is,
can
and
change their life, definitely.
And I strongly believe that, and that's the message I want to pass.
And that's a great message. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So Mariah, thanks so much for sharing your story with us too, and we also wish you the very best. Now we've got one more story to share with you after this short break, and this time it's about a special guest who's actually gone on to help others learn from her very dramatic experiences. So see you after this break.
Don't forget to subscribe to the Chrissy B Show, always aiming to show you the happier side of life. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook and Twitter.
Hello and welcome back to today's program. Now today is about shyness and how it can affect your life in a negative way. Before the break, we had 2 stories of success in battling this very common problem. And now we bring you someone who also went through the period in her life where she lacked self-esteem, and now she's coaching others with the same problems. Here she is, Claire Schrader from Making Moves. Hello, Claire.
Hello, Chrissy.
So lovely to have you on the show.
Pleasure.
Now, before you tell us what exactly Making Moves is, can you give us a bit of your background growing up and how you were as a youngster?
Yeah, sure. So I was always a very, very shy child. And that's partly because when I was a baby, I made too much noise. And so the landlady kept on telling my mother that her baby was crying as if she didn't know it. And so she had to put me in this bathroom, this dark little bathroom. And I think that was the sort of cause of it.
Okay.
And so both my sister and I, and she was actually my mother, it was really, really funny, but my early life experiences was all about repression.
Right.
So we lived in places where the children couldn't make any noise.
So this isn't normally like parents don't see this and adults don't see this as a major issue because, let's face it, we like a nice quiet child, doesn't give us much trouble.
Absolutely.
But the only thing is, as you get older, then it starts to become a problem because that child may get socially isolated, doesn't develop relationships with people. Did that affect you growing up?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I was a child that didn't want to participate in anything. I wanted to stay I wanted to be on the sidelines, and so I was always in that place of sort of hiding away and not speaking out. I didn't have the confidence to speak up for myself.
So when did you actually set up Making Moves, and what inspired that?
Quite a few years later, because I went into the theatre and did bits of acting and writing, and I got to a point where I was wanting to do something a little bit more worthwhile, a little bit more stable, and I went and trained as a drama therapist.
Wow.
And it was while I was doing that, I just felt so many people need this.
Because what kind of changes had you seen within yourself at the time?
Well, I'd seen through my experiences of doing drama, I'd seen huge changes over a long period of time. Okay. It took me a long time to really come out of my shell and build the confidence. And so when I started Making Moves, I wanted to make that journey a lot faster for people.
Okay.
And so because drama therapy enables you to work with people in a very safe way, which is the difference between that and people going to an ordinary drama course, particularly with some of the people I work with who are very extremely shy. I probably was somewhere in the middle. Okay. That meant I could do, I could do drama without, and I was older as well at the time when I did it. So so that's what started me doing it. So I learnt how to work in a safe way, which is the most important thing for people with shyness. They need a safe space, because drama is a terrifying thing for anybody with shyness to do, as I know.
It's brave, it's very brave as well.
Yes.
It's really good. Oh, well, thank you so much for speaking to us.
Pleasure.
And I'm sure you're going to inspire many of our viewers today.
Yes, I hope so.
Great. So thanks so much to Claire for sharing your story with us. Now, shyness doesn't only affect your personal being, but could potentially affect your professional life too, if you're not careful and prepared. Having and showing your confidence is sometimes the make or break of a job interview for an individual. And that's why we brought in some help to talk us through this. Please welcome to the show HR Associate Mariah Asema. Hello, Maria.
Hi.
How are you, my lovely?
I'm good, thank you.
So nice to have you back on.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure.
Yeah, brilliant. So you always give lovely advice for our viewers. So this one's about shyness. Have you ever been shy?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, I am not even today, the most outgoing, sociable, gregarious person. So, you know, when I was younger, I definitely was a shy person. It's part of your character, it's part of your personality, it's inherent in you. So, you know, giving people tips, I think they can go a long way, but ultimately there is still a part of your personality that may still have that shyness.
But obviously when it comes to a job kind of situation, would you think it can work against someone?
I think there's a scale of the shyness. If we're talking about someone who's, I mean, you mentioned earlier on, you know, people who they're so shy that they can't really look people in the eye. They lack the social skills. They're very awkward because of their shyness. Then that can ultimately be a problem.
Okay.
You have on the other side someone who's a bit more mild-mannered, a bit more reserved, keep themselves to themselves, but they're not doing it in a harmful way. So they do interact with individuals, but they're not going to be the most chatty.
Right, okay.
So I guess on that scale, it depends very much where you are as to how much of a problem it could be.
Now, if you are a shy individual and you are going for a job interview, is there anything that you can do or prepare for, or even maybe act in a sense? Because maybe you're not being, you can't really be yourself because that's maybe too reserved, but is there something that you can do body language wise or anything else that you would advise?
Absolutely. The way you carry yourself, making eye contact, almost faking that confidence is going to help you, because if you are sat in an interview and you're so shy that you can't look the interviewer in the eye, your hands are all clammy, and that uncomfortableness would come across to the interviewer, and they're ultimately going to look at someone and think, okay, well, maybe they've got the technical ability I'm looking for, but how are they going to interact with their colleagues or clients?
Right.
So there is an element of putting your best foot forward. So you definitely have to demonstrate those strong interpersonal skills that are going to ultimately help you in a professional setting as well.
Is there any sort of training that someone can do for that, apart from maybe just sort of practicing in front of the mirror, but is there something more professional that they could maybe do with HR?
Yeah, so you have things like public speaking. I think courses to help people in making speeches or being able to speak with strangers, even things like acting lessons could help someone.
As we saw earlier with our videos as well.
Yeah, so I think anything where someone is actually tackling their problem head on is going to be helpful. Counselling, if it's a deep-seated issue that's to blame for the shyness, maybe getting to the bottom of that. But like I said at the beginning, if it's something that's more inherent to the person, then you just have to find a way of making that work and adapting. But I don't think you can ultimately change who you are as a person.
Now, in the case of someone, say we got past the interview stage and the person got the job and everything, and now it's the first day at work, how should the person normally be on the first day? Quite outgoing, would you say, or a bit more reserved?
I personally feel that you need to be yourself, whatever that may be. But I think you're probably more a toned down version of yourself anyway, because most people who are even the most outgoing or the big personalities, I think on a first day in a new job, they're quite nervous. So they probably want to sit back and kind of observe and kind of look at how things work and the dynamics of an environment before jumping straight in.
Okay.
But at the same time, I think you definitely need to show that you're really eager, you're interested in the role, friendly, smiley with people that you meet, because you need to make a very good, strong first impression. So I think if you're a big personality, you probably want to tone it down a bit so people aren't immediately put off by that. But then equally, if you're a really shy, reserved person, you might need to bring it up a notch and just show that you're really interested, you're really engaged in this opportunity. But don't be false to who you are as a person at the same time.
And I suppose with time you get used to a new environment, you start making a few friends, so it's not so bad afterwards, is it?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Now, if in extreme cases, I'm going back to the interview phase now, should you ever tell a potential employer about a shyness issue, do you think, or just fake it?
Well, I think you can make comments such as, sorry, I'm a bit nervous. Someone's going to understand that.
Okay.
And I don't think you should necessarily tell your life story and be like, oh, I suffer from shyness. But you can kind of show a little bit about who you are. So I meet candidates in my professional job like all the time, and I can tell those candidates who they're shy, and that's part of who they are. And probably if they join, they're probably not going to change too much from actually what you see for the first impression. But I think you're still going to be, you need to be true to yourself.
Yeah.
But if you are so shy that it's becoming an issue, then you do maybe need to think about what steps you could take to kind of remedy that.
Okay, Maria, thank you so much for joining us again, and we'll see you soon. So remember, if you have an inspiring story you want to share, get in touch by filling in the form on chrissybshow.tv, or let us know your thoughts or advice on this subject by tweeting us at Chrissy B Show, or comment on our Facebook page, The Chrissy B Show. We'll be right back.
Don't forget to subscribe to the Chrissy B Show, always aiming to show you the happier side of life. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook and Twitter.
Welcome back to today's programme, where we've been speaking all about shyness. Now, I'm here with Excel, and we're going to be covering some tips in just a moment, but just before that, I'd like to say something. I don't think shyness is an issue if it doesn't stop you from doing what you have to do, going about your daily life. And I'll give you an example. I once interviewed Karen Millen, the owner of the Karen Millen, basically, of the clothes shop, which doesn't own it anymore because she sold it. But I was very surprised at how shy she was. She didn't actually want to be interviewed, first of all, because she didn't like cameras. She doesn't like to sort of be seen, and she wanted her business partner to do the interview. But in the end, she agreed. But even from her body language, you could see that she was not comfortable in front of a camera. But I was thinking to myself, I think it's remarkable what she's actually achieved, being so shy. Because obviously she's had to go to meetings, she's had to do all sorts of things for her work and be out there despite having that shyness about her. So I think it was quite good that she has managed to still get on with things despite the shyness. So if you are like that and you manage to go out there and do what you have to do and it doesn't affect you, then the shyness is not a problem. But if, like some of our viewers have commented, and I'll read some in a minute, if it does affect you, then I think you do need to do something about it.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree, because I think if we're all the same temperament and they're all the same character, it would be boring if we're all the same. So some people have to be reserved and some people have to be, boisterous and outgoing. And so, balances things out.
Now, I was very shy, which I didn't mention before, did I? But I was extremely shy. And like, I think it was Eliane that was saying at the beginning, I would feel physically sick if I had to do a presentation at university or be in front of people. And as a child, I was always like a loner, always by myself. I wouldn't really play much with the other kids, just by myself in a room, just playing with the toys or taking watches apart. I used to do that a lot. Bit weird. I just wanted to know how they worked. So I used to take my dad's old watches apart.
And just take them apart.
Sort of playing with dollies. But anyway, my point is, it was affecting me a lot. But, with the right help, I got the right help and everything. And then I'm doing things today that I never thought I would be able to do, such as like presenting in front of thousands of people at Wembley, and like even doing this show is like a testament to how far I've come. So it is possible to, I believe it is possible to change completely. I'm not saying that I never get nervous, but I know how to kind of control that now and still go and do what I have to do. Yeah. Because I think everyone gets a bit nervous.
I think that's the important thing as well, because being shy doesn't mean you you know, you're not capable. I think you just have this thing where you feel as though people are watching me, you feel overwhelmed by it. And so now it's about reining that in and being in control to say, look, what I have to say is also important, and I'm not going to be awkward, I'm not going to sound foolish. I have something to say that's important, that somebody needs to hear, and kind of, you know, rein that in. And of course, like you said, we will still have butterflies. We don't want to get to the other end, which is just extremely cocky and think, you know, everything, you know, exactly. But at the same time, it's about taking control of that, knowing that what you have to say is just as important as the next person.
Cool. So let's take a look at some of the tips that we've prepared for our viewers today, Excel. So we're going to give you 5. So the first one is, it doesn't always have to be about you. So maybe one of the reasons that you are shy is because you think that all the time you have to be talking about yourself, when you don't actually have to be doing that. So a way to combat this is to ask about the other person. So if you are in a social situation, you don't sort of enjoy being the life and soul of the party, as they say. So people love to talk about themselves, and they love it when other people, that is not the shy people, they love it when people ask questions about them. So ask about, you know, oh, what do you do? Oh, that's interesting. And you just ask about the person, and you see that, you know, you're projecting things outwards, then you won't feel so shy yourself.
I agree, because then when you get other people involved, I suppose that feeling where you feel as though you're being watched or you're being sort of scrutinized so closely, you deflect that. You know, so tell me about yourself, and then you take a breather in the corner while the other person talks about what they have to talk about. So yeah, absolutely.
So another thing you could do is to actually do some research. So this kind of follows on from the point above. So you can actually prepare things to talk about so that you won't be afraid of running out of things to say. So, but don't just prepare any old thing. Find out, for example, if it's like a particular social gathering where you know certain types of people are there, find out about their interests and do a bit of research on that. And that's got the double benefit of, first of all, you are equipped when you go to that social gathering or that meeting, plus you're also learning about something new.
Yeah, as you said that, something just came to my head. I remember this little tongue twister that says, perfect performance, or rather, perfect planning prevents poor performance. So if you do your research, then you kind of know you have substance to talk about, and you don't end up going, oops, what have I got to say next? So again, so definitely preparedness is key.
Okay. So number 3 is to smile, smile, smile. Thank you, Excel. She's got a lovely smile, hasn't she? So when a person is shy, they are in danger of looking unapproachable because they look so serious. And of course, as we spoke earlier, they don't make eye contact. And that could even be judged by someone as thinking, oh, she's not a nice person. So, you know, people that don't look directly at others, they do look a bit shifty, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's some interesting statistics here, actually. Let me find it. It says that people are 86% more likely to strike up conversations with strangers in the street if they are smiling, right? And also, of course, smiling makes us feel better. So try doing that, and that will make you more approachable as well, maybe people more interested in you.
Yeah, no, I agree, because I have to say, maybe sometimes people feel a bit awkward, like you see this stranger on the tube sitting across from you and you start smiling, you start thinking,
why?
What do you want? You know, I think it definitely, I mean, you don't really want to sit there smiling to yourself, like really, because it kind of, you know, doesn't kind of, it looks worrying. But if you get eye contact, just smile at them. It doesn't hurt. It's a little gift that doesn't take anything out of your pocket. It doesn't take anything out of you, really. You're just passing something on, and maybe that smile could warm up somebody else's day.
It could, definitely.
They could be having a terrible day, and they just see a smile and go, oh, it's okay. All my problems have melted away.
Oh, especially this one from you, Excel.
Oh, thank you.
Number 4, practice makes perfect. So face the shyness by putting yourself in certain situations as much as possible until it becomes natural to you. So practice speaking up instead of hiding what you think. As one of our viewers, Vanessa, has said actually on our Facebook page, she goes, oh, I was a shy person before. The only way I could overcome it was to do what the thoughts in my mind would tell me to do. For example, you're in a group and everyone is giving their opinion, and you get the thought to share your opinion instead of dwelling on, you get the thought to share your opinion. Opinion? I meant opinion, guys, okay? I'm having a hard time today speaking. So instead of dwelling on the thought and regretting not speaking when the time is over, speak straight away when that thought comes. This helps me a lot, which is kind of similar to what you were saying before.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I have to say though, just to say quickly on that note, I think a lot of the time, because you feel so shy and you're so crippled by it, and you really do want to say something, but you know, people talk about shaking and they're nervous and their heart is beating really fast, they kind of get out their chest and all that. But I think because you have something you do want to say, afterwards you start to regret it. You start, oh, I should have said
it's true.
this
It
at that
feels even
time.
worse.
And I should have said this when this person said that. Oh, they're going to think I'm stupid now because I didn't even say a word. And that just makes it worse. That just makes it, you know, adds on to the stress you feel afterwards. Say what you have to say, you know. Someone needs to hear it.
Okay, and the final point we have is do not deprive the world. So you are actually special and you have plenty to share with others, and you have plenty to help others as well. So maybe you've been through experiences that someone is going through right now and they're having a hard time. So you could actually help them by just speaking up, or you know, even when you're talking to a group of friends. So you are valuable. What your opinion is valuable, and what you have to say is valuable. So don't put yourself down, and think, if not for yourself, think about others around you that could benefit from what you have to say as well.
Yeah.
What do you think? So actually, I've got a comment here from Serena Mullings, and this is going on this point as well. She says, I used to be shy. I would always want to do or say more, but thought people would not agree with my opinion or comments. But then I thought about my opinion or comment helping others who may be shy to say anything at the time. So I thought about how it would help someone else. So I always put that in my thought, that there was a silent person who needed to hear what I had to say. And the more I spoke up, the more I got used to it.
Again, I mean, that summarizes it there, that final sentence. The more you do it, the more you get used to it. It's not something you kind of hide away until one morning you wake up really confident. No, you've got to use it, and you get comfortable and you get used to speaking out.
I mean, I have to say, anytime before I do an event, I'm always nervous. And there was one particular one I was really shaking before because it was a lot of people. But then I had to think to myself, this isn't about me, it's about them. And when I would think about other people maybe getting help from what I would say, then it's like, the nerves didn't go completely, obviously, but it kind of calmed the situation down. So it really does help to think that way. Excel, thank you, my darling. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you again very soon.
Thank you.
All right, guys, so we are reaching the end of the show, but do remember that life is too short to be spending it alone because you're too afraid to show who you are. You also have the choice to be happy and enjoy the life given to you. So get out there and make the most of it. Well, sadly, that's all we have time for today. And don't forget, if you have a story to tell us, an experience to share, to help, educate, inspire, and motivate others, do contact us by filling in the form on chrissybshow.tv. Also, let us know your thoughts or advice on this subject by tweeting us at Chrissy B Show or comment on our Facebook page, The Chrissy B Show. So I hope you enjoyed the show as much as I have and learnt something too. Thank you to all our lovely guests and you, our viewers. Until next time, bye-bye for now.